Just start with the open-ended question, like, how has hooping improved your life?
So many ways. I would say that when I discovered hooping, it gave me an outlet to just kind of transmute things that are happening around me, and kind of gave me an emotional language for things. Socially, I have made a lot of really awesome friends, and mentally, I would say, yeah, it's been a really helpful tool for working through whatever's happening in my life. Then you have the opportunity to kind of turn it into art and be inside your body in a way that feels almost like the hoop is holding you as well. So I think that has been really helpful for me, and that's what inspires me to share it with people.
How about spiritually? Do you think you've reached new levels through meditation and connection?
I would say definitely, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that like the times that create the best art are when you're going through challenges emotionally.
Through that.
Drinks to that. So yeah, it's, in that way, I think it's really a transmutational art.
I always think back to when I went through a breakup where I think she cheated on me. I'll never really know, but there's a lot of secrecy, and I was just processing it, and I lived alone at the time. I was just listening to reggae music and spin 5 to 10 different props, and it was so soothing. It was like, I could pay for therapy, or I could buy a bunch of new props off Etsy and just learn those.
Do it yourself. It
definitely got me through those tough times.
Yeah, same.
But even in good times, I also feel as though it takes me to the next level. Is it kind of something, has flow arts, this including yoga, aerial, hooping, I've seen you do fans, fire eating now.
Yeah.
Do you get the same benefits from it when you're going through tough times as you do when everything's going well?
Yeah, I would say yes. I think that I notice the benefits more when I'm feeling down, because it does create space for that expression of those things, and even like a space for me to actually notice and become aware of what I'm feeling. But I would also say that when I'm in a joyous state, it is very fun and it makes me happy. So I would say it enhances both of those.
Yeah, I just jotted down EQ,
Yeah.
like was it emotional quotient? Was it like IQ is intelligence quotient or quote, but emotional quotient is the right vocabulary of recognizing what emotion you're feeling and then expressing it and why you feel that way. What I like about body language is it's usually pretty emotional, but the viewer gets to put in their own words, right? If I tell you how I feel, you just kind of have to accept it. It's like, okay, that's how they feel.
Yeah.
You can question little bits of the logic of it, but for the most part, you just like validate them. But with body language, it's this vessel onto which the viewer can sort of project themselves. Like, wow, I can see myself moving that way if I felt this way. And it's this sort of silhouette, this idea of an emotion, and I think people connect to that way more because the ideas are coming from their head.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
Wouldn't you say last night, like, the emotion that you were practicing in your set for, which we will touch on in a moment, Bright Heart, was connection with Allie? Like what emotion was that?
Yeah, so me and Allie have been working together for a couple years, and the piece that we're working on is a story about our friendship that kind of, for this piece, we wanted to transcend just the like happy-go-lucky energy that you see on stage and actually show how our life is as friends and like business partners behind the scenes. So yeah, that is exactly what it was. It is about our care for each other and the way that we hold space for each other and like kind of support each other as one goes. I think of it this way. I don't know how to say it in words.
Because one of you would go to the side while the other was performing.
Yeah, and so like we'll be like, oh, it's your shine, and I'm like holding space for you, or oh, if you're down, I'm here like holding space in a different way. So,
yeah, it's only a matter of time until.
Oh,
I loved it.
It's really something special that I'm excited about.
I think you will be the fire entertainer of the year probably within 3 years.
Thanks,
Because
Troy.
her format and your format of multi-prop, big smile, female empowerment, lots of fire, like 3 or 4 different basically outfit changes throughout with a classic burlesque style. I mean, when I made my tier list of like props and thus performances that go with them, the top 3 are like basically triple swords because of spades, multi-hoop because of watching Allie over the years, and then triple staff, and then triple poi for myself, just because I love that. And like you do multi-hoop as well, where you'll do a yoga pose, spin it on your foot, one over the head. It's just the most photogenic and active and relatable all in one. I think multi-hooping is like always going to be what I call like god tier performance prop. So I'm really glad there's some of you doing that, because
Thanks.
it's accessible with polypropylene, but once you put fire on there, it becomes ridiculously difficult. Like fire hoops, I think it's the hardest fire prop.
Yeah, fire hoop is a whole different prop.
It's
than
so
other props.
different.
It's like totally different than the day prop.
It drives me crazy. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. And especially there was a moment when you were holding it and the flame was so close to your hand. I didn't, and like, you don't seem too burnt today, so.
No, I'm good. I burnt myself a lot, but not last night, so.
All right, well, zooming back out, I didn't know much about Portland when I moved here. The more I learned about the city, the happier I am.
Yeah, I remember when you moved here.
Yep, 2018.
At, the Flow Jam.
Yep.
Like Tuesday Spin Jam.
Yep, at Watershed. From what I can tell, Portland has the most flow artists per capita of any city.
I would believe that.
How has living in Portland improved your career as a performer and then a teacher?
It would be hard to say because I didn't start spinning until I moved here. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, basically I moved here when I was about 20 years old, and I took a belly dance class at Portland Community College, and I met a friend named Fawn, and she was hula hooping, and she's the one who taught me. So I don't know anything else besides Portland very well, although I'd like to perform in other cities. But
You must have performed in like Seattle or Bend or something by now, right?
yeah, Bend, Eugene, Seattle.
You kind of just see the venue. You don't always see the full community.
Yeah. I know Seattle has a really awesome flow community too, so
Oh, yeah.
I really like visiting those friends over there.
And I think that learning hoop and yoga at the same time probably sent you on just a really positive trajectory where you're probably not likely going to pull a muscle. You're probably not going to drill some techie moves. You're going to be very much a performer with it. Would you say that yoga and hooping are parallel or intertwined or totally separate for you?
They're definitely intertwined. I think that yoga kind of gives you more body awareness to incorporate into the movements, and some people even do hoop yoga classes, which is really awesome.
What? That sounds
Yoga
amazing.
was the catalyst that started me teaching hula hooping, though, because I learned more about the body and the way it moves, and so that gave me the language to start teaching classes in a way that felt pretty grounded.
Oh yeah, imagine if you used Indian words like Shavasana to describe hoop moves instead of 3-beat weave. You did a whole retreat where it was, I guess that might be kind of appropriating, but like some type of way to get out of the, like 3-beat weave doesn't sound like something I necessarily want to do. But if it was like, pranayama describes the breath, but something that sounded more like Tai Chi, I might be more like motivated to learn that language aspect of it.
Yeah, that makes sense for people that are more kind of, like, I consider myself more of like a embodied hooper. Like, I'm more in it for the dance than the tech. So over the years, I feel more techie, but I remember when I was first learning, people would be like, poi this, wall plane, wheel plane, and I always was just like, what? I'm just trying to dance. So
Did it suck the joy out of it a little bit?
it did, kind of, but it doesn't now. Now that I have more understanding of it, but I think my like my motivation to hoop was a lot more just to feel the flow of
dance,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I was more of a flowy versus tech person.
I would
now
say,
I like it all.
I would say for me, it kind of comes in waves. Like sometimes I want to explore something tech. If I'm like smoking a lot of weed one week, throughout my work week or whatever, and I don't care about being seen, and I don't have any gigs lined up, I'm like, I'm gonna learn some really weird new tricks.
Yeah.
With 3-point, where it's like, how the heck did that happen? But then as gigs approach, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna warm up, try to get big shoulder movements, big stances, images for the audience to remember. So for me, it kind of comes in waves. Like, I don't know if you saw any of my burns yesterday, but I always start with big movements to show the audience, and then over time I kind of just like turn inward and work on a couple little techie tricks. I think it's worth touching on Enrico, who does unbelievable tech in a performative way. That's 1 out of 100,000 spinners can pull that off. I feel as though there's a big gap between the technical moves that some of us do and what the audience enjoys. And so what I feel like you do is you do
something we always
you do like technical yoga poses with a hoop or with a fan, the Shiva, the yoga moves. So I feel like you're combining both of them nicely, where people are like, whoa, that's impressive. And that's really relatable at the same time,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm rambling a little bit.
I try.
Let's give some, let's cast a wide net. Do you think aspiring artists should move to Portland?
Yeah, I think they should. It's, there's so much availability of knowledge here and so many spaces just practice, meet other people, network, and there's also a lot of classes. So I think it's a really good place to develop your art.
Yeah, you're teaching at Jaja right now, right?
Not yet, but I'm planning to get a class going for end of September.
Well, we could touch on that. I think Jaja is going to be... I just don't think there's a lot of money in it. I don't know if it's fully sustainable. I've always found that middle schools, private middle schools, you can get a $2,000 contract for a quarter, blink of an eye. And so we could talk more about that when we get to some of the more business section of it. But I love Jaja, but I just don't see a lot of kids going there. It seems more of an adult area. Do you want to reach kids, adults, senior citizens? Who do you want to teach?
I like teaching kids and adults.
Yeah, me too.
I don't have as much language for teaching senior citizens. It's something I've wanted to get into and develop a curriculum for. So the classes that I'll start soon will be adult classes. And then I really probably one of my greatest joys is also teaching kids. But I do that on a gig-to-gig basis. Yeah. So I do a lot of summer camps and stuff like that.
I checked out the Bright Heart Circus website, and there was a section about learn to hoop. And I think that's exciting. I think if you reached out to middle schools, they would hire you like that.
Yeah.
Because I taught at several middle schools, several camps, and it's actually really easy to get the contract. Since summer just ended, you would pretty much be trying to book for Q2 or after the holiday break.
Yeah.
Because Q1 they have filled usually by the summer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we could chat about that a little bit later, but you would slay at schools. And I think not Shireen, I always forget who the other woman is, but she Morgan had Motion Magic.
Yeah, I used to teach with her.
I figured, yeah. So that...
For years before the pandemic.
That model, I think, is really impactful.
Yeah.
One thing about that is some of those after-school programs function as babysitting. So, I would try to teach clubs, and if you get some of the rowdier kids who've been pent-up energy all day, they do use the clubs kind of like a club.
Yep.
But
yeah.
Definitely
seen that.
With hoops, they can bend them. It's kind of hard, It's tricky, but I always think two things. Teaching kids gives me energy.
Yeah, me too.
Because they learn so quickly. And then a lot of us want to impact the community we're in, right? But as a lot of flow artists become set in their ways, it's really hard to change the community via impacting adults. So if there's a change you want to see in a community, you typically choose the easiest route, which would be to impact children, and then 10 years down the line, now they're doing what you taught them. So it takes a little more patience, but they are eager to learn, They
are. They're a future. I think of kids as little adults, because I sometimes feel like it's easy for people to dismiss them because of
Yeah.
how energetic or wild they are, but I just treat them like adults, and I think that they're worth investing in for sure.
Oh yeah.
But also adults are too, and I think it's really fun. I get a lot of opportunities to like put a hula hoop in someone's hand for the first time, and maybe there's someone that's not already part of the community, but then to see them connect with that is something that is really freaking awesome, and I think it's really powerful.
Yeah, I love giving hoops to a big, heavy hoop to an adult, and they're like, I can't hula hoop.
Yeah.
It's because they're moving their hips in like a circle. I'm like, just go forward and back. And you show them the stance, and they're like, oh my gosh, I've never been able to do it.
Yeah.
Like, all you needed was like a 30-second sort of correction.
And the right hula hoop is the biggest thing. I see so many
Yeah.
adults with the tiny hoop
Like-
feeling sad. And
I know.
I hate it.
Oh man,
Like, it's not you, it's the hula hoop.
I know. Okay, so we agree. Aspiring artists should move here.
Yes.
I think that it is hard to get gigs here because there's so much talent, but it's easy to get skill.
I agree, yeah.
You know?
It's a little bit competitive to get gigs here.
I've kind of gone for the wedding niche this last year.
That's cool.
And they just want the sound guy and the DJ and the MC. So those are my main things. And like flow arts, I've realized it's actually quite hard to get gigs, high paying gigs. I can get these little ones.
Yeah.
But like I'm traveling from Bend to Seattle at least 2 or 3 times a month in the summer. So like flow arts, I don't want to say it's not my main priority because it'll always be my love.
Yeah.
I love to move my body like that. But I'm finding other ways in the door
Yeah, that's
to get money and
smart.
attention, and then I bring flow arts.
That's
to that.
smart to have a niche and a need that you see that's unmet and then take it in there. And then you're probably influencing more people in that way.
Yeah,
That
a lot of them are
have
drunk.
even known they wanted to see that. A lot of people I
It's
work
like-
with are drunk too.
Yeah, it's like they'll be like, "Let me try that," and they just hit themselves in the head immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one bride was like, "I spin poi," and I was like, "Okay." She's in her wedding dress, and she starts spinning. It gets all like tangled up in the dress and everything. Oh, I don't want to like make you fall over or something.
That's funny.
Oh man, we're so far off track. The whole point of flow arts is follow the conversation. Where does it take you, right?
Yeah.
And flow arts in itself, to me, is not just spinning something in a circle or moving in a fun way. It's a way to connect with people, right?
Yeah,
And so
it is.
anything can allow you to do that. It's like, how are you doing that little? How are you balancing that on your face? How are you doing this? How are you like flipping it around?
Yeah.
And so,
Starts a conversation.
yeah.
Get to teach someone something new. Maybe learn something new.
Yeah, the feeling of teaching somebody something is like really satisfying in capitalism because it's a free exchange of value, where normally anytime you get anything, you have to pay for it, which kind of feels like this exchange feels very formal. But teaching somebody something is so informal and it's so primal. You know, I don't know if you feel that way, but it's like I like to escape capitalism. I feel like flow arts is like a really easy way to do that.
Yeah, that's
You know.
true.
I'm not saying I'm like, let's be communist. I'm just saying like I like to balance out capitalism with free
With
things.
genuine
as much as possible.
interactions.
I liked what you said earlier.
Ophelia.
When you sort of answered one of my future questions, which was how do you describe your aesthetic? Like an embodied hooper, meaning like full
thanks.
body, I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Also kind of like a psychedelic cheerleader.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, I kind of have this idea that when most hula hoopers are psychedelic cheerleaders. And yeah.
I love that. There's some words just go so well together. Let's see. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of my equivalent of that. Psychedelic
what's
clown.
yours?
Like, I don't want to steal psychedelic, but that's amazing.
I mean, most flow artists are a little bit psychedelic.
Yeah. There. So the Haven / Jaja, they have an open mic every Monday.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a psychedelic open mic, the Sanctum.
Oh, cool.
It is amazing. If you put the word psychedelic in front of any event, everyone's like, "What?"
Yeah, that's the mystique.
And they like you can get psilocybin there because they're a church, so they can.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They
What?
technically have a church
Oh,
category.
Sanctum is a church. Okay, crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It is pretty fun. Okay, so I gotta get one more out of you. Embodied hooper, psychedelic cheerleader. Could you describe your aesthetic or your style with a couple more words? Like this is...
Yeah, sure. So I feel like very very energetic, very joyous. I really like to connect with my audience and kind of bridge the gap between performer and audience, if
like
that's not obvious.
breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the word like fairy? Do you think that describes you?
I feel great about that. Thank you.
Nice. All right. So how do you describe your family-friendly style? That would be like fairy. You probably wouldn't, like, for a kids show, use psychedelic cheerleader. You'd probably go the more energetic and joyous route.
Yes.
And then for the cabaret style, that would be psychedelic cheerleader, right?
I think psychedelic cheerleader is just like an underlying aspect of what I do, because I sort of just feel like anytime I'm on the stage, I'm a cheerleader. That's like not really a real cheerleader, but like someone that's like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
You can do it too. Yeah. So
like
that
one person
transcends everything. We don't have to call it psychedelic cheerleader for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say like a cheerleader's role is they project energy from one person and it energizes like 10 to 100 people.
That is
They're
what
like this
I
like
want to do.
magnifying glass that somehow just like adds energy to more people than would be possible in a one-to-one.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
That is my overall stage goal. And then, yeah, so for my family-friendly style, it's like, I think both of my styles are becoming a little more clown-like, but for the family-friendly stuff, I'm definitely goofing around. And I usually do a circus show that leads into the interactive. So kind of throughout the show, I'm pulling people in to be like, this is a warm-up because you're going to do it next.
Nice.
And yeah, it's fun. So
I do love having people throw me a
silly.
club. Like that's fun.
Yeah, that's cute. Yeah.
And at the end of my
kids involved.
At the end of my kids shows, I'll just get all the hoops. Like ideally, like
Do you hula hoop all the hoops?
I just picked up like 6 astral hoops, so this will be perfect for that.
Ooh.
Where I'll stand like this and I'll go give it to like some of the kids that like were like when you're calling volunteers, they like only put their hand like this. And you know, we always pick the kids who are like this because they're gonna be energetic. And so I'll pick the like little kid who like the low commitment kids, give them the hoop, and I'm like, okay, I'm a human like dartboard, like throw it and get it to land on me. And if they're not even close, I'll like dive and get it to land on me. And so they feel like the success. And if they miss, I'll just let them try until they get it.
Oh, that's super cute.
Okay, so
Might steal that, Troy.
it's such a good move. Always steal. Always steal. I don't coin anything.
Borrow.
Yep. How do you like to invite people into flow culture?
Teaching for sure. And also through events, just showing something. And then I kind of someone that will usually let people use my hula hoop, even if I'm at a gig where people are drunk or whatever. So after my show, I usually always teach a move, things like that.
Same.
And
I love to do that.
that's probably the biggest way, plus the classes, stuff like that.
Yeah, the prop sharing one is tricky with the hoop because there's so many things that can go wrong, right? They're not fragile, but not every hoop has a lifetime warranty. Certain brands are better than others. And then you can bend them, and then they roll. So if you're on top of a hill and somebody, whatever, and it like rolls down the hill, hopefully, God forbid, there's like a river or like a cliff or something.
Well, I usually check the scene before I give a drunk person my hula lap. But hula laps have been really durable. I've had mine for like 5 years.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I share them a lot. So
Have you ever had to send to me?
I need to kind of probably replace a couple of them.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
Like replace the
Maybe
battery?
it's only 2 years, but it feels like 5 for the way that I've used them.
Yeah. The abuse we put them through.
Probably like 3. I can't remember now. 3 or 4 years. Probably 5.
That's a good chunk of time. Yeah, I was like,
something like that.
I was like, I've
crazy
had,
amount for how they're still working.
they've got like the dust of 1,000 festivals in them, and like
Absolutely, yeah.
That's like certain dragon staffs have this grip on them that like collect women's hair.
Just memories.
They borrow it.
Oh my God.
So it pulls their hair in.
Pool.
Yeah. And so like sometimes after a festival, I'm like, oh my God. And it's like really hard to get it out of there. There'll be like sparkles and like purple hair in there.
Always sparkles.
Smells like burnt
Blue
skin.
hair.
Yeah. Yeah. I've collected every color of hair so far.
Oh, nice. You have a little rainbow going.
So then transitioning more into the professional side of it, like just for a quick jaunt, what are some ways that you get new performance gigs? How do you I call it filling the sales funnel.
So for a while, gig salad was kind of my main one. And
Same.
yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. And I get a lot through my website, and most of it at this point is word of mouth. So, you know, if you work with one school or one library or something, they're all connected. And
then that eliminates
that way.
You don't have to do as much sales for it.
Yeah.
You're not picking up hey, introducing yourself. It's that word of mouth is just such a powerful, what would be not strategy, benefit or outcome of being a good personable performer.
Yeah.
Do you have business cards that you hand people?
I do. Yeah, I used to have stickers. That was a really good move too.
Have I seen your sticker?
It's been a while. I need some new ones. I was thinking about
I want to get a thing where I collect all my performance friends stickers.
Cute.
And put them on here. I would love that.
That would be awesome. Yeah, so that I would just say I think that being really communicative and really professional goes a long way over time. I've been doing this for a while, so that's why. Also with booking agents and stuff too. So that's another way I get a lot of gigs. Really awesome people.
Yep.
Getting them.
I reached out to
me, which I really appreciate.
I tried reaching out to some booking agents when I first came here. I won't name any names, but they seem to be very guarded because I assume they have a stack of people that want to work for them.
Yeah.
And so their job is to curate and pick the most reliable, communicative, professional, sober. It almost seems like talent is the fourth or fifth priority, and being a reliable, safe person comes first. Because I would always lead with I can juggle or I can spin three-poi, and over time I'm I don't think they care. I think they care that I am on time, communicative, and represent them well.
Yeah, and so I think those are also talents too, because I think those are skills that can be cultivated and improved over time.
Yeah.
And so the way that I developed that for myself was starting with those really low paying gigs.
Yeah.
And then I would just really use those as networking opportunities, get all the videos.
Exactly.
Yeah, hand out stickers, invite people to my class, and then kind of build a trusted pattern that people could see, and then somehow this got me here, and that's really awesome.
A lot of people, this is where it's really tricky, because I see a lot of people online, especially in the Business for Flow Artists page, which is the best Facebook group I've ever joined.
Yeah, it's awesome.
For this.
I love it.
A lot of people are don't ever perform for less than this certain number. And I'm it's kind of a long ramble. I'll see if I can condense it. I can practice my set right here 1,000 times and nail it. But as soon as I go on stage, it's actually a different skill set to look people in the eye, react to a problem. Wind is a big one for juggling.
Yeah.
Lighting, if there's lights in your eyes, is different from at your home. So I feel as though practicing in front of a crowd is its own skill. And so I encourage people, don't look at the number. Do what you have to do to make your finances work first, and then treat performing as a slow grind, right? I think to get good at anything in life, you have to put in about as much time as some type of school degree, which is typically 4 years of doing it part or full time. And so no one can jump to the end of stage confidence because it's a slow build.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a lot of well-intentioned advice that may actually discourage people from doing cheaper gigs to have that slow growth?
I think it's a tricky subject because I think it really depends on the person that is doing it. Because I think there's something to undercutting it, but then there's also that need to grow and develop your skills. And so I think that if you're building your way up to something that you feel is worth more, and if you feel like a gig is worth your value and it's going to help you get closer to your goals, like I support people doing what they want to do personally. Yeah. And I can understand the other side of it too. And I just think that everyone should make it work for them. And I like in Portland that we all communicate about it too.
Yeah, spinning love and like group chats and stuff.
It feels really collaborative here because it is so competitive that it's like, it's hard. You can't just, I mean, you could, but it would be really hard to just come in and like get in on high-end gigs right away. Right. So it makes sense here that we have to build that up, and I really appreciate the camaraderie here that we all talk to each other.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
It's so cute. We all help each other. It makes me happy.
Yeah, between like events at Dante's and then Flow Arts festivals, and then the bigger ones like at the Raceway, and then the most recent one was this Renaissance fair that came up.
Oh, I heard, yeah.
Yeah, like at least a dozen flow artists came together in, I think it was a week, and learned a full 45-minute set.
That's cool.
I walked in on them training. I got there early and they were training. And like, it was people who are normally very like all over the place, and they were very focused. I was like, whoa, this like community really, there was a ton of people I didn't recognize. Like, oh, they came out of the woodwork. This is like awesome.
That's cool.
And so I'm just really proud of Portland and our community for like rallying when we need to, having fun when we need to, and then communicating just all the time.
Yeah, me too.
I will say that working with artists over the last like decade for me, it's like herding cats. Have you heard that phrase before?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people who it seems to be all they want, and then you put them on, and then they come up with an excuse the day of sometimes. The one I'm running into is like, I keep booking this person, and they just don't want to buy costumes. They just want to wear all black at every costume. How would you encourage someone, because I know they're gonna know exactly who I'm talking about, but it's
bringing me in some tea right now, Troy.
It's well, this happened yesterday. This is in another state, so I'm not too worried about it.
Okay.
But I booked my buddy in another state, and I have every intention of putting money in his pocket. I didn't even take a commission. It's a whiteout party. But you've hired me for a whiteout party.
Yeah.
What did I show up wearing?
Yep.
All white. It cost me over $100, and I haven't worn those pants yet since then. This is part of the, I believe this is part of the commitment. So I get him an opportunity for a whiteout party, and he starts telling me that his conversation with the client was to wear all black, because that's what he has.
No.
And I was like, I was like, I don't want to get over involved, because I just want to give him the opportunities. But I was like, yeah, you know, I've done a whiteout party and I spent more on the outfit than I did on the gig, but the opportunities that come from a gig are typically worth more than the gig. And so I didn't know, I was just like, sometimes you just got to bite the bullet. And he's like, nah. And I'm like, he's probably not going to get the gig. It just was, how would you take someone from that mentality, and when would you kind of give up, or would you keep pushing, or how would you like, because you really value your costumes. Your costumes are really good.
Thank you.
And you've booked a whiteout party, and you convinced 5 people. You didn't have to convince
Yeah, no
us.
one was trying to not wear the costume. So that was nice.
What would you do in my position?
You should cut that, because that was mean. Anyways, I think that when you're first starting performing, and even now still, you are building your wardrobe for future events. So even though like you haven't worn those white pants since, you probably won't get rid of them because you might need them again.
They look really good.
Yeah, and so it's like, that's just an initial investment into performing, is building your wardrobe. And I don't know if you want like advice that could be like a not non-confrontational, but like a way that could like motivate change, is if you booked him again, you could be like, this is the rate I'm paying you, and this is your costume budget.
Yeah, compartmentalizing
something like
it.
that, to be like the budget. I don't know, you could include the budget.
I should have done that, because it's $250, which for this person is good for them.
Yeah.
For a 10-minute set, like maybe 1 or 2 songs for Fire. They're extremely talented, and the talent eclipses the other priorities, such as I'm pretty sure he's always showed up on time. I'm pretty sure he's always sober, not profane. He's really, really like politically correct speaker, and very caring, and like
Yeah, they seem like an awesome performer.
Really,
Just
really
don't
talented.
have
But that got in the
to-
way, and I was like,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's something, that's kind of a dead end. I'll have to just meditate and be like, man, I probably will just, I have way more important things I have to work on. But that was one where I was like, you have worked with artists who want to build their wardrobe.
Yeah.
You're lucky. Like,
I know. Yeah, everyone that I've worked with has been, excited about that aspect, even though it does cost. So, but another suggestion as a booker for the future could be to incorporate a costume budget into your rate that you send the client, so that you pay them and then you pay the performer. Or you could even, honestly, like, if you have a costume budget, you could just buy the costume yourself for them and have them wear it for that event, and then you could keep it.
That's
and
what I'm doing
if there's
for our
another
Christmas
gig,
one.
yeah, like I know that's how a lot of like producers here in Portland do it, and I think that's really smart, because then you have all the stuff. So next time you want to book someone, you wouldn't have to charge that costume, and then you could send it to them, assuming it fit them and stuff. It's
Yeah.
not a perfect model, but
transitioning into management of artists is harder than juggling 35, balls at the same time. Like,
it is very
so challenging.
yeah,
and
respect
costly.
to everyone who does that, because a lot of the costs come out of your own pocket while you're learning, I think.
It's like, it's a write-off. It's like,
'Cause
but you
you're
still
the
had to
one
spend that money,
Yeah, taking the account, like, not all the accountability, but like it's on you when you're doing it.
And I've left so many costume pieces at venues where I'm like, it was like $30. I'm not going to go back for it,
Yeah,
It's like,
then you have to buy it again
yep.
in 2 months.
Okay, so yeah, the costume budget, that's a really, really good tip. I'm for sure going to use that.
Yeah, especially if a client wants specific costuming, it makes total sense to charge them for it.
Yes. Describe the ideal summer's worth of performances. Is it mostly festivals, fairs, backyard barbecues, weddings?
This summer, I've done a mix of all that stuff, and it's been really fun. And I think for my ideal, I would like to probably work out some way to get on a longer contract that's more kind of, I can do something similar for a longer period of time, because I spend the most time just like loading and unloading my car and organizing all my gig stuff. Also, I am working on another way to just spend more time at the gigs that I do have, which is learning face painting, which is really fun.
Oh, what? That's awesome.
So then I can just can't post up, paint faces, do circus, all that, and yeah, so that's something that I'm working on that I'm excited about.
I hire people to do my makeup for, do you know Harley Quinn Grimm?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Him and Achillia are so good
They're
at my Dante's
awesome.
makeup. In general, they're amazing
yeah.
people. I hire them. I usually pay them like $50, and it takes like an hour.
I
And
bet, yeah.
It's very therapeutic. They are good listeners. So we can chat and then good music. They live like a block from the Haven.
Oh, nice.
So it's near
Oh, cute.
Dante's, and they really take a lot of care to do it. And I usually, I think they charge $40 and I tip them $20. I'm like, this is,
Yeah.
they love it. Would you
They're really
would you do like
talented artists.
would you
I
do
like
makeup
those too.
for like performers for like Twerk du Soleil, Inferno, things like that?
Probably, yeah. I never been asked to, and I think I'm more focused on like the kid face paint style right now.
It's more fun.
But I am gonna do some makeup at Kendall for people.
Okay, sweet.
But I don't know if I'm gonna be like the whole face makeup person.
Yeah.
Not yet. Not for a while.
I recently purchased probably like 5 different packs of the things that you just stick on with water, and the little tattoos, and then the stick-ons.
nice.
I'm gonna go crazy for our
Yeah.
next couple gigs.
That's
I can't wait.
fun.
There's even these ones that are basically you would have to use eyeliner to get it, but they're like holographic. Like it looks like these crazy ornate things. Where normally I'd hire Harley to draw it on, but if I can just stick it on with
it's
water,
like a temporary tattoo
yeah,
thing.
there's no way it's gonna look good. Like I'm like it was like
you just gotta apply it.
I
right.
really want it to look good because then I could do it myself. But
I
I'm
feel
just
like
like
it might look good.
you can't shortcut like this. This is like where the true magic happens, I think. maybe airbrush, but I'm just like, I really hope it works.
I hope it works.
I just noticed this. It's like a
I
jester
know,
hat.
it's pretty, right?
My favorite chandelier I've ever seen.
Wow.
Okay. Face painting and then loading and unloading. I wanted to touch on those.
Yeah.
So face painting would be where you would set up your face painting station. They get a line of like 10 kids at any event.
Yep.
And if you're doing a good job, as soon as one kid goes out there, like even the boys are like, I want that. Even grown men will be like, I'll be a tiger or something.
Yeah. That's cute.
Would you? So on your website, I didn't see that, but that would be a,
No, I'm just starting.
yeah.
On Saturday.
Yeah. First gig.
Kind of. I've done it a little bit, but
I love face painting.
like here and there, but never like formally set up a table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tiger is I just love the look of when you see a tiger on a little kid.
The tiger is cute.
Oh my God. It just like the stripes like fit the contours and everything. Mm-hmm. And then
I like the flowery designs.
yeah, floral.
Yeah.
I like animals. I want to,
Yeah.
Okay, so
I like those ones.
loading and unloading. As a wedding DJ, I have my ceremony set up and, microphones and speakers there. And then I have the reception, which is like dancing, party lights, the bigger speakers, the DJ decks, the table, sometimes like a canopy. It takes me like, I'm always like, it takes like 2 hours to set up. It's like 3 or 4.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, because I like to make
It's a
the
lot more
wires
hardcore
like
than my
perfect.
setup.
I do a million sound checks. What does loading and unloading look like for a performing flow artist? Is props and then safety stuff.
Yeah. Music. I have a wagon, and I like if I'm doing interactive gigs, I'm bringing tons and tons of hula hoops.
Oh, genius.
That's like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And then the speaker, and then maybe a sign for my business.
That's
and
smart,
Then
yeah.
a bag with all my other props, and then another thing of props. So yeah, it feels like a lot,
The tricky part about hoops is
but
like,
not compared to what you're describing. But I definitely always factor that into my rate. Like, the first hour for me to go somewhere costs more than the other hours because that includes like the loading and the costuming
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
prep.
And then after I'm there, I'm already there because
we should
I
like
feel like that is like one of the most like
labor intensive.
laborious
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
I work for a couple DJ companies where I'm like the setup and schlepping guy, and then he gets all the glory of being the DJ and MC and everything.
You're like,
holy cow. Yeah.
Labor.
I mean, like some of this stuff is so heavy. Where I'm like, dude, I can't get this out of the van like by myself.
Whoa.
But the one guy I worked for is like a bodybuilder. He can lift all this stuff. It's like, what do you mean you can't do it? I'm like, dude, I can't. Like, there's like over 100 pounds of lights in here.
Just cash.
He just like had to get super strong to like lift his equipment.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you use like on Amazon? I think you can buy like 24 HDPE hoops. Instead of Polypro. Like, do you just buy that pack, or like how do you get enough hoops for a couple dozen kids?
I made a lot of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Polypro?
No, I don't even know. Honestly, during the pandemic, the tubing that I use, which is a type of PE, like irrigation tubing at Home Depot, or no, it's at Ace Hardware usually. But since the
Polyethylene?
pandemic, I have not been able to find it. I found a roll that was like $120, and that makes 10 hoops. And so it used to be $40 or $50.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I just already have a lot of hoops that I made for this,
And then you
I
rivet 'em?
just like refab them up. They have inserts, but it's kind of the old school like PE tube. And I also have Polypros.
the insert is where it's kind of like this, where there's like a snug piece and it just goes in and that's it.
Yeah, there's like 2 sides to it, and you just put one piece of the tubing into each one.
Yeah, it's super cheap and easy to do. That's what Phil does.
It
too.
was cheap, but I don't know now.
Yeah, the supply
kinda-
chain.
yeah.
Home Depot stock went up like 30% over quarantine because so many people were working on their home, and then the supply chain issues. Since everyone wanted to do that, there was high demand for these things. You had a huge price hike. There's people who made as much as we've made in our lives combined just on Home Depot stock. So you felt that, which was like the
Yeah.
polyethylene going up, and you're like, what the heck? Like, is it really that different?
Also, it was less available too, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like a toilet paper situation. Like, I feel like I searched
Yeah.
all over the internet and I only found it in one place, and it was like 3 or 4 times the cost.
Yeah,
that it
there
used
have
to
been
be.
some things like that too.
I was like, I don't know. Luckily,
So-
I have the hula hoops that I have.
So they
I hope you guys find
don't bend them.
tubing for your hula hoops.
I'm
Polypro is
guessing.
good too.
I'm guessing the polyethylene, like that it's more labor intensive to create it. So I'm guessing like vendors who are going green probably like went to more like polypropylene because it's lighter and uses less whatever polymer or whatever like bad stuff for the environment.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
I know. I feel like that tubing is just not being used as much.
Yeah,
Which is what you're saying. So
maybe there's
I'm
less
like,
application
darn it! Hula hoopers
so perfect.
everywhere.
HDPE.
It's great for learning, yeah.
Okay.
Polypro is good too because you can tape it and then it adds that weight, but it's just essentially a little bit more lightweight.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So it sounds like you've been doing weddings, barbecues, fairs, festivals. Summer camp. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that was my biggest paycheck from performing that I ever had gotten. It was $1,000. And I also did some like mentorship for the kids and like helped with their camp. Summer camps are a really good opportunity. Let me think if I could touch on summer camp. Like the loading and unloading there was really interesting. And the kids got to know me for a couple days.
Yeah.
So I guess it wasn't just $1,000 performance gig.
Nice.
I like.
You were there for a few days.
Yeah.
See, I just
Oh, yeah.
pop in like once in Portland and I come for like an hour.
Yeah. I want to do that.
Yeah.
And so I was hoping that would happen this year. And then they didn't have me come back this year. Where I was like, all right, whatever. So it was, to me, it was absolutely worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, summer camps are another good one.
Yeah, they're fun. Libraries too.
Libraries.
Yeah, they do a lot of summer programs for the kids. Actually, I think they do them throughout the year. But getting in the library programs is really fun. And they all have a network together, so they can
That's amazing.
refer
love
you other
libraries.
places.
And also the other one was not fairs, kind of like state fairs and like Renaissance fairs. I would love to get more into that. I don't think I've done one of those.
Yeah, I know. People have a lot of success working the fairs.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten into the fair yet. I'm kind of like deciding if I want to, but I think that would be a really awesome opportunity. I think it would be very sustainable.
Yeah, I think that when you're starting early on, you do pick a niche and like really get good at that first before you branch out. So for us, we really focused on fire for a while, and I feel like I really want to get into like something like libraries. Like you don't need fire for that. LED is fine, or just a regular prop is
or
fine.
just regular props. I think having like a myriad of like colorful props is really fun for those kinds of shows.
Sparkly.
Just to like keep the kids of all ages attention and like little funny gags for them. They like it.
Squeakers and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're wrapping up here. I've learned a lot. I may cycle back to some of this, but we'll get into some of the fun stuff at the end here. If you could shoot a cool flow video anywhere, where would it be? And I always say I would do poi juggling over a volcano on a tightrope. So the sky's the limit. Like, what would you? And it's gonna go on your business card, or it's gonna be a cool video. Where would you go?
You know, I was struggling to think about this one because I feel like I've been really more excited lately to think about making kind of like live art and
nice.
telling stories. And so what I thought of for that was just making a live circus show. So
Anywhere.
I know, I'm like, it doesn't sound that cool.
It's not about being where, it's about doing
like
it. Yeah.
in the jungle, or I also thought about being in Sedona, like with all the beautiful desert.
Yeah.
Would be really fun.
Yeah, Sedona's amazing. You had this one, when I first discovered your page, it was when you had different hair, and it was a much more like earthy like aesthetic to it. Like your aesthetic has kind of changed over time, which is funny because I feel as though most performers like end up going that direction and stay there and lean into it more. You delved into like the earthy, and now you've kind of come back to more like we said, not always cheerleader and fairy, but it seems like you delved into that and kind of like took the best elements of it and brought it back, and now you're just like marketable to every market, you know?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think that during quarantine I got really into like practicing makeup and more of that kind of stuff, doing my hair, things like this that I didn't used to do before, and that became another fun creative outlet for me. So I think that's kind of what brought me back a little bit.
Okay, yeah. When things open back up, it's like, let's take those skills I learned from quarantine and go show them to people.
Yeah, and then
in a curated
I think it works out kind of well because I didn't even know if events were coming back during quarantine or if my classes were coming back. So I was just like, what else can I do to make myself feel good? And I got really into those things. So
my family's
did eventually benefit my career a little bit.
Oh yeah, like my family's from Wisconsin and then also Florida, 2 states where they like barely shut down, and they didn't mask up, and like some people got vaccinated, some didn't, like the same rates as any state. But their mentality, they just kept having events. Like it was wild. Like we were wearing masks until April of this year in the healthcare, because I worked in like the dental industry.
I work in healthcare too.
Yeah, I was like masking up until April. Which April 1st was the day that they got rid of you didn't have to wear masks anymore. I was like, is this April Fool's? Because I want people to be, confident again.
Yeah.
And so like, it's been crazy in Portland. The amount of, how do I say this in a good way? Like the precautions we took compared to other parts of the country where people were posting performance videos, teaching, had to be a lot more patient out here, you know?
Yeah, but the COVID performance makeup was pretty.
This is true. You didn't have to do as much.
Quick.
Just I bought some cute masks. I'm not gonna lie.
Really a lot of focus on the hair.
You really have to learn how to smile with your eyes.
I know.
Is he smiling into that?
Smizing.
Yes. I never got the blue steel down. Okay, so jungle. That's awesome. Jungle and then live art.
Yeah.
So the answer.
Storytelling.
Yeah. And if you were to like capture that moment of like a live circus performance, how would you take the impossible task of marketing an awesome moment where you're living in the moment and the kids are involved? How would you use a video of that to get more gigs like that?
It's a little tough with kids entertainment because you can't share their faces.
Exactly.
So
and if you blur it looks sketchy. It's like,
yeah,
you can
weird.
use the back of their head.
Yeah, you can use the back of their
HIPAA
head.
Or something. The Child Protection, HIPAA, I think is the acronym. Because when I was a teacher, we had to film ourselves teaching, but you couldn't get any kids' faces in it. Like, what do you want me to do? Just film from the back.
Yeah.
And shoot over the tops of their heads. But then the autofocus focuses on the back of someone's head.
Turn their head.
Yeah.
It's hairy. I think just showing those skills up close is smart, and maybe not doing it with kids are there, but it is nice to show the interactions.
And you can also do it with like a cousin or something.
Yeah.
And then you get their permission.
Yeah, friend's kid or something like that is a good idea.
Awesome. Yeah. So you have a really good understanding of like where you came from and how it benefited you, what you're going to do in the future. You have a large repertoire of gigs, and then adding face painting to it, you've got like a bright future ahead of you.
Thanks.
What are your goals within the world of performing? Next levels you want to reach?
Ooh, yeah, I'd say a longer contract. I'm not sure where I would like to do that, but I think that'd be really fun. And kind of like I said, I like telling like kind of real stories. So taking all the skills and adding that character that can kind of reach people in a vulnerable way. And so, yeah, me and Allie are doing a lot of that together, like I told you. And so it'd be fun for us to get a longer contract somewhere.
Oh, you will.
Yeah.
100% you will.
Maybe, we'll see. I hope so. And yeah, so I would say also I'm kind of working on acrobatic skills and trying to level up just my hoop act itself.
Yeah, acro hoop
It's been a while
is so
since
amazing.
I'm super tried to push that very hard. So that's another goal for performing.
More performance or more solo, would you say? I'm sorry, more group or more solo? Is there one you're really working a solo act this season, or is it like, because it seems like you and Allie have been really working that one.
Yeah, we're doing a lot.
So more partner stuff?
Yeah, probably just more of both. It would be nice to have it. It's like a very solid part-time work for me, but it'd be nice to have it be my full career.
That is such, full-time flow artists, I think I can count them on one hand, really. Because usually they're booking other people, and let's talk about that. So like the most successful flow artist is between two people, as far as I can tell. Drex, you're familiar with him, and Liz Knights. They both are in a really highly taxed area. So after taxes, Drex makes like 45K. He has a video where he breaks it down. DC is really high tax rate. And then Liz, I think she posted something about she finally broke into 6 figures. I don't know if that's her net or her gross income, but that's very impressive. And she's booking all these other girls all the time.
That's cool.
And I think guys too, and everyone in between. And so she's really into the management, right? But she's also a performer, which is like goals, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Boston has a lot more opportunities because there's a lot more corporations on the East Coast, and she's got these relationships with them. We have some corporations out here that hire for events, but as you know, it's very competitive for those. And they I don't know exactly who they're hiring. Like, I don't think they know about us or something like out here. Cause I'm like, there's all these corporate events all the time who hire DJs.
Yeah.
Like, don't you want a hooper for $300 a person, you know, $400 a person, $500 a person in Portland? Wouldn't you want that? Actually, okay.
They don't know we exist.
Exactly.
That we're an option. That means we gotta market to those people.
Which is a skill like I personally don't want to.
I'm not good at marketing.
And then okay, so
it's not my strength.
So Drex has 5 streams of income, right?
Yeah.
Which is Patreon, YouTube ads. He used to sell merch, which can be really successful. Patreon's his biggest one. It's like 20-something thousand a year. What is the other one? Like gifts of subs is how gamers like get a lot of it. And then sponsorships. Affiliate marketing, right? Use my discount code. And for the life of me, I'll never remember that last one. But he's got a wide net of way to make money. Where Liz seems to be from booking other people with just really good contracts.
Because Drex doesn't seem like he does that much stage performance.
Not anymore.
So that's kind of
he does it like for fun, mainly.
He has a whole, I would say, he has a really wide income stream, but I don't feel like that's like a major part of it. So.
Yeah, his performances I think are just more for himself and for networking.
Yeah, he does like his artistic ones, which are really awesome, but I don't see him on like a hustle like...
Yeah, certainly not costuming up. And you know,
he's more like sharing his knowledge and stuff like that, which is awesome, which is also what I want to do. Yeah,
he takes a lot of flack, but like, he is one of the absolute best poi performers. Like, not just a guy, he does mostly spin in his living room or wherever, park, but his partner poi performance was just with Pod Poi, with this like beautiful young lady. He's in a suit, she's in like a nice dress. It was like a 6-minute or 5 or 6 minute partner poi act that was extremely acrobatic, like swing dancing. He's picking her up and everything. It's not easy to do, and like the poi are in his hand while he's doing it.
That's cool.
It was unbelievable. I've never seen, like, I don't know if you know Zan and Aura by any chance. They're like OGs out here. They're also poi teachers.
Oh, cool.
They had partner acts that were at that level.
Nice.
But Drex has like one of the absolute best partner poi choreographed acts I've ever seen. So his background is his background is, people forget it when they like to speak negatively about him. I'm like, yeah, it's funny. Like, he does put himself in some like bizarre, strange situations, but like his background is so deep. I just pushed the negativity. I'm like, look at what he's done. Yeah. He's broken so much ground for poi mainly. He's
a really good dancer too.
He really is.
Poi, so he has the tech and the dance.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, top, pretty much like god tier performer in my opinion. But then I wanted to touch on Liz Knights, which is like
being in the spotlight is hard on anyone too. It's like
your mentality.
So.
Do you feel like you would rather have like a wide variety of income, merch, affiliate marketing, Patreon, internet lifestyle, or would you rather do more what Liz does?
I want to have my hoop classes online because I think that will be really fun and I could teach more people. And so I definitely want that as a route, and then performing as a route. Still in the air how far I want to go with booking
other people
in that way. I'm not sure if that's my goal at this time or not. This is my next goal, and then keeping working on these other live art things, and we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But I at least want that duo net of like working events and teaching online and in person.
Yeah, you're really committing to being in the moment with people.
Yeah.
As opposed to like teaching online or selling merch online or doing Patreon.
Well, I will teach online. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to film all my classes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, well, no, not hopefully, but I am planning to do it this winter.
Get you one of these, and then it'll pick up all your
I
audio.
know.
It's like $100 or something for just one of them.
That's cool.
I could show you how to do some of that, and obviously your boyfriend can show you like tons of ways. Audio quality seems to be really important to like Patreon and teaching online.
I think so too, yeah.
What I also really like is when people just do the move and they're just smiling, and then you just use a microphone and just do a voiceover.
Yeah, I know, I've seen that. I started recording all my classes a couple years ago, and I felt so overwhelmed trying to teach and
edit,
describe it, and then edit it, and just watch myself talking and flailing around with it for hours. I was like, this is gonna drive me nuts.
Well, like I'll work just as hard on a like tutorial and the voiceover as I will on like a performance. I'm like, it's like a little mini performance in itself. It's tough. Of
course, yeah. And I think editing footage of oneself is kind of wild after a while, because you're just like staring at yourself or listening to yourself over and over. Like, it gets very strange.
I've edited music videos where I'm trying to like line up the song with like the lip syncing, and I'm like, and I'm looking at my mouth like frame by frame. Yeah.
That is something really special. Like, I used to post on Instagram a lot and stuff like that, but I was like, there is some sort of like feeling that comes from that after a while, the editing and like the
what is
commenting
the word for that?
And all of it. It's not like a dysphoria, but like it's very odd. It like takes you out of your.
It's a really good word.
In a really weird way.
Yeah. It's almost like not objectifying either. I can't think. It's like almost like a doll or like a marionette.
I know, it's weird.
Yeah. Well, wow, yeah, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, that's another topic.
And then my last question for you is, what about some personal goals like outside of hooping that may benefit from daily yoga and hoop, and fans and fire eating and all that?
That's a tough one. I feel like a goal of mine right now is to slow down a little bit and really take good care of my body and my mind. Because it's funny, from where I started to where I feel now, I'm like, I'm having a great time, but I'm also like, ooh, I'm like pushing it physically.
Yeah, that's summer every summer.
Right? Yeah, so like I think that's my personal goal that will feel really good for me.
Slow down. You know what? I'm going to put that for myself as well.
Yeah.
This was a crazy summer and I just want to collect music. I do need to do yoga. Like, I am so like
I know,
man syndrome.
I'm
like,
I
like went to crack my neck. I was like, this is gonna feel so good, and nothing happened. And I was just like, oh, it was supposed to feel good, and driving too much. Okay, so slowing down, and working with Allie. It seems like really having a good connection with her. That was so sweet yesterday. You guys were. And I like how you guys are brave. You just throw in the AirPod and you do it in front of a crowd.
I know. I was nervous because you guys are going to see it at Kendall. And I was like,
you guys performing there?
I want it to be a surprise. Yeah, this new show that we're making
that's
is
awesome.
For Kendall. So you'll see it on Friday.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
The Friday's the fire show then? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome.
It's all one gala show. So.
By the way, I think she'd be cool with this. We're all going to, a bunch of us, like Ty Rochford, a variety of locals, my girlfriend and I, and Lux are going to Cape Kiwanda Sunday. If you want to film there, like, she's the best.
Oh,
she's so good.
Nice.
It's hard to get people to leave on Sunday because they want to kick it and everything. So stay if you want, but you're welcome to join us. We're probably going to go. I want to get everyone out there like Sunday morning and then film along the coast. There's like 5 main spots we can hit if we really focus.
Nice.
You'll have months worth of good shots of you in nature.
That's cool.
I made a little montage there recently to try to get people hyped on it. I'll show you offline here.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I want to get all the different props, all the different floamies, get group shots of us, and then each person will get some. I'll have my camera, Lux will have hers, and we'll get tons of shots of everyone. So It's only 20 minutes from Kendall if you guys want to check that out.
That is very close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell
cool.
people.
Yeah,
Tell
I'll tell people. That's rad. That would be really fun. Thank you for sharing that with everyone.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Yeah, I mean, it's the best I can do is you guys motivate me, and then I try to give you a platform, boil it down to the most salient points, and just benefit the community.
Well, I appreciate your work, and I'm excited to check out your podcast.
Yeah, it'll start dropping in 2024.
Awesome.
So check it out, and it's just easy listening.
Yeah.
So no need to listen to all of them, but pick the select few of people you resonate with. There's some locals here who have some really hot takes. When you open up format, it's quite interesting. And as I get to know people, I'm always like, people are so much deeper than they are on the dance floor.
That's true.
I'm just blown away by the intelligence of people in our community. Something about flow arts that attracts people that just motivate me so much,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kendall. Appreciate
thank you, Troy. That's fun.
Nailed it.
That was